Today's FDP has 16 enthusiastic faculty members from DME Media School, presenting on 16 different topics relating to media pedagogical techniques, focusing on experiential and blended learning. This makes our peer-to-peer FDP truly enriching and engaging experience. Our peer-to-peer FDP is an innovative concept ideated by Professor Dr. Amrish Saxena, DME, Dean, DME Media School, and has come a long way since 2017. Since the inception of the program, it has helped the faculty to understand and to adapt the changing technological trends in teaching and in the media industry. Esteemed guests, I would also like to inform you that even during COVID, we have conducted the peer-to-peer FDP in physical mode. The main aim of the FDP is to enhance the teaching skills of media faculty and to include innovative as well as interesting teaching tools. Each presentation delivered by our expert faculty members is expected to be 20 minutes duration, followed by a brief question and answer session. Commencing the session, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce Justice Bhavar Singh, Director General DME. Justice Bhavar Singh is a visionary, administrator, writer, magistrate and additional district and session judge in Uttar Pradesh. And he is an eminent speaker with high intellect. He has also served in the Higher Judiciary Service cadre and as a judge of Allahabad High Court. He is honorary chairman of the Tribunal of the Arbitration of Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, National Law University, Lucknow. Sir, I welcome you on the behalf of DME Media School and request you to grace the session with your valuable inputs. Over to you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Ravikant Swami, Director of DME. Dr. Nagpal, Additional Director and Dean Law Faculty. Dr. Amrish Saxena, Dean, and Madam Sushmita Bala, and dear teachers and students. It looks like a COVID that we have summoned a few. To see the strength, one can say that there is some emergency. Anyway, sometimes even the small gathering is suitable and we can better interact. As the topic blended learning suggests by nomenclature, it is a mix of learning online and face-to-face. Face-to-face learning is also described differently, that is class learning or say brick and mortar learning. Walls are made of bricks and mortar, so sitting in within the walls, that is bricks and mortar learning. Friends, learning these days has become blended by necessity. In COVID times, online learning was the only alternative to classroom education. It is a subject which has been explored but is still exploration, and some of the experts have said that there can be hundreds kinds of blended learning, but so far invented and identified there are only 6 kind of blended learning which we'll discuss. But before that, if I ask a question to myself, or you ask, what is blended learning? What is the definition of blended learning? No definition has so far been given to this phrase of blended learning. In law, everything has to be defined, and if a definition cannot be carved out, then it has to be described. So the description makes the things clear, and unlike definition, it sets out the scope of discussion, interaction, and the methodology of education. As I said earlier, it is a mixture of online and in-person delivery of education. The experience has shown that students' achievement was higher in blended learning. In 2006, Bonk and Graham has written a book on blended learning, and it was said at that time by the two authors that blended learning combines face-to-face instruction with computer mediated instruction. The nomenclature which has been explored by now says that it is a technology mediated instruction. Second, it is a well enhanced instruction, and third, it is mix made instruction. I believe you know Illinois University, which is very widely known for its innovation. Way back in 1970, it has explored the classroom courses from elementary level to the college level, and these courses were designed through live videos of lessons based on satellite means of communication. But very soon it was realized that using satellite and videos had become very expensive. Even the students of America could not afford it. It was so expensive. 20 years later, in 1990, the CD-ROMs dominated the technology based on blended learning. Boeing Aviation industry used CD-ROMs to provide training courses. This methodology can be used in modern blended learning also. Friends, as I said, there are 6 identified types of blended learning, and the first is station rotation blended learning. It's a model that allows students to rotate through stations on a fixed schedule. For example, by working on a given subject in the classroom to the students, and they may be asked to complete the assignment while working at home. they do their research at home before presenting their findings in next allotted rotation. Then second is the lab rotation blended learning. As the name by itself shows, laboratory means computer laboratory. Learners spend most of the time in the computer labs and they learn there on a particular subject, and working through the online curriculum at their own pace, and another part they undertake in the classroom where they remove their doubts, their confusion regarding what they have so far learned in the computer lab. In fact, the teacher also helps in this kind of blended learning to reinforce what they have learned through lab while using online curriculum. Tips. Friends, third type of blended learning is remote blended learning. It is also said to be an enriched virtual learning. As I mentioned earlier, in COVID times, this was the only alternative for all of us to use our time, to utilize our time for blended learning. It was a boon in disguise for employees, government employees, as well as the private company, corporations employees who had been allowed to work from home, and they did it so nicely and so remarkably that even today some of the companies are permitting their employees to use to work from home and complete their assignments. It has in fact been achieved by all students, employees. Even in some factories, the laborers, they are contributing to it. Friends, then is the fourth kind of blended learning is the flex blending learning. Mostly the students are instructed in a classroom or in campus for a group, and at the same time some students join online from their home or from elsewhere. It is a face-to-face support to those who are present, while it is an instruction to those who are connected online. Friends, then is the flipped classroom blended learning. Students are introduced to the content at home and practice in class. It is in reverse. In a flipped classroom, the students first learn lessons at home and master the material at school in collaboration with their peers or instructors. While I was in the High Court, then we were expected to come to hear the cases after making some preparations of each and every file. Why? Because the two parties' lawyers used to argue in their favor, and it was expected that each one of them would try to impress the judge or the bench, sitting singly or in couple of judges, that they will argue, and at times they also mislead. So if the judge is not well read from before, he would be misled. It was a possibility. So in an alike situation, the students in the flipped classroom are helped to prepare, preparing at home on a subject, and then come to the classroom for completion and for achieving masterly education on the subject. Friends, then come the sixth, individual rotation blended learning. Individual, as it suggests, is based on the concept teach to one. As in the mentor groups, we include some 20 students, and then their mentor take one by one their problems or their queries to and helps to resolve each one of their inquisitiveness. Likewise, it is a learning through one-to-one interaction. It is also said that it is a personalized program that uses the individual rotation model to tailor learning experiences. Friends, it is like the playlist, as there is a playlist of songs available on radio and television. Likewise, the teacher tunes the topics for the students on some stations, websites, and other digital programs. Byju's was one of them, but because it was on payment, so the teachers would not generally set in tune with that. But it was such a wonderful individual, or say customized learning, that teachers and students both, while discussing one-to-one, only one-to-one, would be satisfied with the teaching by the teacher and learning by the student. Friends, these 6 blended learning types have been identified. Some researchers, as I said, that it is still under exploration as to how many more types of blended learning can be. Now we will discuss 6 more which have been explored, but which have not acquired so far recognition from all quarters. They are the project-based blended learning. As the nomenclature suggests, a project is given to the students, and then some guidance is issued to them, and then they are asked to go to the library, to go to the computer room, or work at home and find out as to what are the contents and what are the skillful lessons on those subjects. It is in fact a hands-on approach that can build skills, mindsets, and behavior needed for success. Then the 8th I take now in number by adding the later 6. Self-directed blending learning. Self-directed. Self-directed blending learning suggests that students use a combination of online and face-to-face learning to guide their own personalized inquiry and achieve formal learning goals, connect with their mentors physically and digitally. There are many advantages of this self-directed blended learning. It helps learning in a comprehensive manner, covering both contents and skills. It is the best utilization of self-directed blending learning. Then it promotes a passion for learning. The students are inspired, they are prompted to use this kind of blended learning so that they can develop a passion to learn, to promote themselves. It builds a culture of lifelong learning. Next, it involves, or say it irons out, classroom challenges. And then last but not least, you utilize time and energy and enjoy it most. Whatever comes to one's own mind of a student, he try to explore the answers to it by discussing with the mentor, with the teacher, with the peers, with anyone whom he considers capable of giving a learning on the issue. Next comes the inside out and vice versa, that is outside in blended learning. In outside blended learning, outside in blended learning, these are very technical words coined by the promoters, and it is sometimes confusing also. But outside in is easy to be understandable as to start a project in a non-academic physical and digital environments and finish the learning inside the classroom. You go to a conference which has been arranged by some university or in some auditorium or in some college. You learn so many things there. Then an inquisitiveness comes to your mind that what can be further explored on this subject of conference. Then you come to the classroom, and in the classroom you seek resolution to your inquisitiveness from your teacher, and then he satisfies you. So this way you start with outside in blended learning, and you succeed in doing so. Inside out means you finish the learning. You have started outside, you finish in the classroom. In inside out, it is vice versa. A project is given and the experiences are planned to finish or end up beyond the physical classroom. Friends, last but one is the supplemented blended learning, as the word suggests. On lighter side, I would like to say, at times I see Baba Ramdev's program and when he discuss what can be the solution to your particular ailment, he would say that Patanjali's medicine is like this. And what are these? For blood pressure, that is BP, BP grit. For diabetes, Madhu Nashini. For liver, liver grit, liver grit. Like this. It looks funny, but all the same it has been made easier. For BP, BP grit. Likewise, in supplemental blended learning, we supplement. Online learning can be supplemented by classroom learning and vice versa. If there is deficiency in one's own learning, in laboratory, at home, in class, we can get it supplemented by the other source of digital or physical learning. Then last is the mastery based blended learning. When a student is about to be promoted to the next semester or next grade or next class, then he has to demonstrate as to what he has learned so far, and not only demonstrate, but he has to prove that he has learned all about the subject. And he has to satisfy the teacher that he has acquired masterly skills, masterly contents, masterly knowledge of the subject, of the topic. So friends, this is all about blended learning. In short, it is a learning through various sources. Some people say that using so many sources is very expensive. No doubt. If a student is advised to use a particular website to access it for learning, then some of the websites are available only on payment. So payment, since we live in a poor country, is not easily, this facility of payment is not easily available to all the students. So that is considered to be one disadvantage of it. But all the same, while comparing between the advantages and disadvantages, I can say that advantages are more in number than the disadvantages. Different people learn different things in different ways. The students can control, one of the greatest benefit of it, can control their space of learning. Then they save money also when they have access to the online websites which are available free of cost. Then they save money. And it helps develop all round progress of the students. And it is interesting also. So friends, this is all about the blended learning. I think the sessions lasting for 2 days will really be very beneficial to you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. That was truly inspirational. Sir, you have rightly put across that description makes the things clear, and it is here today that the esteemed faculty are going to describe their topics and tools to achieve the desired outcomes. I would now like to introduce our esteemed guest we have today with us, Professor Ravikant Swamy. Professor Swamy has more than 21 years of experience in teaching and has taught at prestigious educational institutes such as Banasthali Vidyapeeth, Om Kothari Institute of Management, Kota, Maharishi Arvind Institute of Science and Management, Jaipur, Hindu Institute of Management, Sonipat, and Arni University. He has served as professor and dean at the Arni University of Business Management. Sir has many publications in reputed journals, written a book and presented papers at various international and national conferences. I request Professor Swamy to grace the dais and add his valuable insights. Please, sir.
So dignitaries present on the stage and all the faculty members, and I can see a few students also. In today's program, I would first like to, like it's peer-to-peer, so I'm also your peer, so I have to tell you something. So, you know, first I'll talk about the media department. In the media department, Pandey-ji is an important element today, because Pandey-ji, आपकी PhD पूरी होते ही पूरे 10 PhD हो जाएंगे डिपार्टमेंट में. So, double-digit PhDs in a department, and that too, it's not a large department. So, yes, we can start with Amrish sir, Bala ma'am, of course. Then we have Dr. Iram, इनकी तो delete भी अभी होने वाली है. मैम आप डिग्री ला रहे हैं श्रीनगर से ना? नहीं, हैदराबाद से. Then Dr. Manaswi, Dr. Manmeet, Dr. Sumeda, Dr. Yamini, Dr. Shefali, recent addition. So पांडे जी आपकी होते ही 10 PhD हो जाएंगे, जल्दी डिग्री लेके आओ. वाइवा हो गया क्या? अच्छा ठीक है, वाइवा रुका. Okay. You ask Amrish sir to call someone at GJU, huh? But this is half part of the story. 10 PhDs in a department. Other than that, we have our first professor of practice, Professor Ashish Chatterjee. Then we have people like Garima, who has an immense experience with radio. We have Pranjya, we have Madam Vora. So other than that, we have the studio staff also. Madhavji is a very good actor. I don't know whether you have seen his comedy documentaries या क्या बोलूँ मैं उनको, वो जो आपने comedy जो दिखाई थी. So he's a very good actor as well. France कब जा रहे हो भाई साहब? मार्च में जा रहे हैं. That's his, you know, that's a brilliant, I should say, a pastime, or I don't know what, but he's doing something special due to which he has been, he is getting the opportunity to go to France. So that shows your persona. Then we also have Yogesh ji, Shukla ji, Abhijit. So it's a very good department, and I have other angle also to prove that DME's media school is at the top in IP University. You know what happens, that the impression which comes to us is ki, okay, we could not fill the seat, isn't it? But I can tell you, there are external factors. When we see the number of applications in media, in IP University, if we analyze that in particularly the COVID period, there was a drastic fall. So if you discount that factor, I can tell you, the statistics says that. It's not that I am praising our own school. Statistics prove that our media school is the first choice of students in IP University. That is what statistics is saying, right? Coming to FDP, well, peer-to-peer is itself a challenging idea. Challenging idea in what sense? We say, घर का जोगी जोगना आन गाम का सिद्ध, right? This is what we say. So peer-to-peer challenges that concept. भाई बाहर वाला आके सेम बात कहेगा तो बढ़िया हो जाएगी, और घर वाले कहेंगे तो ठीक नहीं है. So peer-to-peer itself is a challenging idea. So Amrish sir, I congratulate you for bringing in this idea and institutionalizing this idea. It is the 5th program. So there's a continuity. This idea is institutionalized in the media school now. So peer-to-peer is a very good idea. It challenges the idea. A, B, C, D बाहर से बोलेगा तो बढ़िया है. हम बोलें तो ठीक है यार. So when we have such good faculty members, why to look outside for some knowledge? Peer-to-peer is the best idea, what we call horizontal learning in management. Lastly, I'll say that I have always enjoyed the media schools programs. जब वो कैमरा लेके माधव जी आते हैं तो हमें थोड़ी सेलिब्रिटी की फीलिंग देते हैं. तो I am sure this program is going to be very good learning for all of us. And this program in the past has given us very good inputs. I can tell you my own experience. Like there are most of the things which I know today are probably I have learned from my peers. Of course, teachers were there, but many things which I know today I have learned from my peers. So all the best for this peer-to-peer FDP. Thank you.
So it was really encouraging, and your words mean a lot to us. We really feel overwhelmed. Thank you so much, sir. We are here obliged that today we have with us Professor Dr. Rashmi Khurana Nagpal. Dr. Rashmi Khurana Nagpal, Additional Director, DME Noida, and is also serving as Dean, DME Law School. Madam has a brilliant academic record, being a gold medalist twice, both in LLB and LLM. Ma'am, that's truly great. Dr. Khurana has also been recommended for British Chevening Scholarship, which in itself is an achievement. She also has teaching experience spanning more than 15 years and is the program coordinator and examiner for UGC E-Pathshala. She is also serving as an editor and member of the editorial board for leading law journals. Dean Ma'am, I welcome you on the behalf of DME Media School and request you to say a few words to add value to our FDP.
A very pleasant morning to each one present in this august gathering. Our respected and honorable Director General, Honorable Mr. Justice Bhavar Singh Sir, Professor Ravikant Swami, Director DME, Professor Amrish Saxena, Professor Sushmita Bala, and all my dear faculty colleagues. Like Swami Sir rightly remarked, let me first congratulate the entire faculty members and the entire department for holding this peer-to-peer FDP, which I saw the themes covers everything which is required for blended and experiential learning, which is the need of the day if we talk about NEP 2020. So let us first talk about blended. Is a very well said and accepted notion is जो चीज़ हमें challenge करती है वो चीज़ हमें change करती है. So we were challenged by the onset of the pandemic. The hybrid mode, which was in the thoughts of the officials of UGC and in the HRD ministry for a long time, but did not take a practical shape, came into existence in just spur of the moment by the onset of pandemic. The learning did not stop. So NEP 2020 talks about holistic and interdisciplinary education. That should be the model. And also the blended learning, where it has taught us, the pandemic, that virtual learning can be the substitute and can very well be taken as a physical classroom. Learning should not stop. Teaching did not stop during this pandemic. So all things have the negatives as well as the positives. When we talk about experiential learning, I think this has been there in the traditional form of Gurukul that we practiced. What happened in Gurukul was the students ultimately went on for the practical activities, eventually that they were doing practical activities and also doing the daily course themselves just to learn modesty and discipline. So it was very much there. Gradually we shifted to the grading system and then the learning outcome based methodology of teaching. Now when we talk about media education, I think it goes well with everyone, the Chinese proverb that I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. So it is learning by doing or learning with experience. When we talk about journalism, in fact, I think adopting the hospital teaching method is the best, which is learned under the experience of specialists, how to take out blood, how to embed catheters, even how to deliver a baby. This is where that we learn by doing. So when we talk about science, they do real experiments. When we talk about computer science, it is all about making the programs on real computers. Similar is agriculture, and if we talk about my subject, law, it is about case studies. Learning more and more by doing, by be present in the course itself. So this is what is the desired mode of teaching now. But media has, as I was reading a few days back, that the profession full of challenges and obstacles in the way, like 2017, if we all remember, Gauri Lankesh was shot dead. That was at that time 4th crime that was recorded and still under investigation. Nothing has been come to light as of now. So despite that, this profession and it's this incident, that writing something against a leader of any political party would take away your life, is a threat to democracy. But despite challenges and pressures, this profession remains one which is prestigious and as well as honorable. So this is experiential learning, that we take over all those challenges, we do the practical aspect of all the things, the best teaching methodology on the best videos on how to swim or how to ride a bicycle cannot teach the swimming, and we cannot learn to ride a bicycle unless we go onto it or we go deep into the waters to learn swimming. So this is practically for all the subjects that we are teaching, all the subjects that we are doing, and journalism being one of them, where experiential learning along with blended form would be the need of the day in the current century, to give it holistic as well as a multidisciplinary approach. This is all for today, and my best wishes to each and every one for organizing this, and may it be a great learning experience for each one of you. Thank you.
Learning should not stop. Ma'am, by providing an example of Gurukul, you have really enriched us that the heart of Indian education system has always been practice-based. And this is what we are going to discuss today. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now moving ahead, it gives me an immense pleasure to hand over the dice to Professor Dr. Amrish Saxena, Dean, DME Media School. Dr. Saxena is an accomplished media practitioner, researcher, author, anchor, political analyst, and film enthusiast. He is the director of DME Studios and Production and director of International Relations, and Dr. Amrish Saxena has worked on all media platforms including print, radio, TV, and digital media. He has worked in English as well as in Hindi language media, both on the reporting and editing side, occupying senior position as a news editor, executive editor, chief reporter, bureau chief, correspondent, as an anchor in various news organizations. He has also presented a number of papers, both in national as well as in international conferences, and has published articles in reputed journals. Sir has also authored more than 20 books. So I think 28. Am I right, sir? This is what we have learned. Sir, truly inspirational, sir. I request you to, sir, say a few words for the session. Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Hiram. This is an important day for us every year when we organize this peer-to-peer FDP. This was an idea which came to my mind long back, but I could not properly experiment it. But then when I joined DME, then I started with this concept, and we had the first peer-to-peer FDP in 2019. And incidentally, despite all odds and whatever might be happening around, we have been continuing this. And during this period of the calendar in February preferably, or in the first week of March, and despite pandemic, it continued because this was the period even in 21 and 22 wherein there was not much impact of COVID-19, and we could do it in the physical mode. So this is one event we have been doing it in the physical mode. The other events, ICANN and CIFI, we had to go to hybrid because of the situation which was there. Now the basic idea behind this is that whatever as teachers we do, we experiment, and whatever experience we gain, we share that experience with our peers. So that whatever good things would have come out by the experience of one teacher, the other teacher is also benefited by that experience. That is one. Two, as teachers, everybody keeps on thinking while we are pursuing our profession as to what more we can add to add value to the teaching and the training that we do. So everybody, I mean, this forum gives everybody a space, an idea as to what more can be added to whatever he or she would have been doing till now. And if that is shared, then obviously one's idea can be executed by the other, because this is something wherein I believe there has to be complete transparency, wherein we all learn from each other and we pick up idea from each other, and that's the basic concept. And when it's happening in a formal, in a structured manner, then it also gives a space to us to ask questions to our peers and get answers to. So it is a brainstorming exercise that way. Last year we also added one more feature to this exercise, that is involving the students in this exercise, because whatever we are doing or we are discussing, it's ultimately to add value to our teaching. But what for this teaching is to be done and teaching is to be improved, that is ultimately the most important stakeholder are the students. So students should also be roped in, wherein they can also give their input whatever we are discussing to that. So last year there was a good attendance of the student. This year, because of the ongoing university examination, that number is not there, but I believe that today and even tomorrow that number will be increasing once the first year exams are over and the second year and third year also joins. But whatever number is there, that's good enough to get the viewpoint as to what are the expectations of the student from us and to what extent we are able to deliver to their expectations. So I believe some good discussion will follow, and I'm looking forward to whatever deliberations will be happening today and tomorrow in this fifth edition of Peer-to-Peer FDP. Thank you all.
Rightly said, sir. Whatever we teachers do is we experience and through our teaching, and we always strive what more we can do and what else we can add, and that should be done in a structured manner. So we will definitely come up with some innovative concepts during these 2 days presentation. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And so now I will request our esteemed Professor DME Susmita Bala, Head of DME Media School. Dr. Susmita Bala, Head of DME Media School, is an accomplished teacher and trainer equipped with rich experience in media industry and academics for more than 3 decades. Dr. Susmita has 13 books to her credit as an author, co-author, chapter contributor, and editor. She has presented more than 22 papers at national and international conferences in China, Australia, the United States, Spain, France, and Dubai. Dr. Susmita has been a jury of the Akashvani Awards organized by AIR for many years. She has also been a member of the nomination jury in the International Science Film Festival organized by the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. I now request Dr. Susmita Bala to address the session.
I welcome everybody in the 5th edition of Peer-to-Peer FDP. In DME Media School, we organize every year this FDP. I am hopeful that deliberations among teachers will bring some new ideas and new learning to us all. I am grateful to DG Sir, Director Sir and Professor Rashmi Nagpal have graced this program, inauguration of this FDP. Nothing can be better exercise rather than this, because FDP, peer-to-peer FDP is important for everybody. जैसे अभी नागपाल मैम ने बोला कि लर्निंग बाय डूइंग, सो आई एम ऑलवेज सेज कि बिना काम किए आप कुछ सीख नहीं सकते हैं. सो लर्निंग बाय डूइंग इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर एवरीबडी. स्टूडेंट्स के लिए जैसे भी हमारे पेपर्स हैं, लाइक अभी इसमें बहुत सारे चैप्टर्स इतने इम्पॉर्टेंट हैं, इतनी थीम्स इम्पॉर्टेंट हैं कि उसमें बहुत सारा एक्सपेरिमेंटल बेसिस पे टीचर्स प्रेजेंट करने वाले हैं. So it's very important for all of us. This is exclusive exercise of presentation and discussion. This is a churning process and we all are part of this FDP. So thank you everybody. DG sir ने बहुत important points discuss किए थे जो मैंने कुछ note भी किए हैं और that is very important for everybody. एंड डायरेक्टर सर का स्टाइल जो ऑलवेज होता है कि हमको मोटिवेट करते हैं. सो थैंक यू डायरेक्टर सर. और ये इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि हम सभी जिस तरह से काम करते हैं और जो टॉपिक्स हैं और जो हमारे सब्जेक्ट्स हैं, दैट इज़ वेरी इम्पॉर्टेंट. एंड डायरेक्टर सर ने ये बताया कि हम, या उन्होंने भी कुछ वर्ड्स यूज़ किए, उन्होंने बताया कुछ मुहावरा शायद यूज़ किया था. तो हम मुहावरों और इसकी हेल्प से भी बहुत कुछ बता सकते हैं जो अंडरस्टैंडेबल होता है, एंड दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस. थैंक यू.
Teaching is a journey, and I hope we all as a teachers reached our destination. So thank you so much. I conclude the inaugural session. Thank you so much, esteemed guests. You have really graced our platform, and we are highly thankful. Thank you so much.